welcome to Your Town. I'm Chef Wendy Brodie with Art of Food, the culinary host, and my guest today is with the Gilroy Garlic Festival cook-off stage, Nikki Dequin. Welcome, Nikki. So nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to describe, because about 12 years, I think, plus years ago, I got introduced to one of Saturday's great events, and which is people from all over submitting their recipes, even outside the country, which has been exciting. But tell us a little bit about your responsibilities, the concept of the cook-off stage and its various events.
Okay, so we have a number of different events, but I'll start with who I am. I am the recipe committee co-chair. Denise Busing is also the co-chair of the committee, and we put on a fabulous cooking show for the festival. We have on Friday our Champions of Charity competition, which is a new event in the last couple of years, and we have we've added retirees this year. We have first responders from various organizations around the area, retired Army, police, fire. Anybody's able to, in those professions are able to apply to compete in that competition for a charity of their choice. So the winner will get $3,000 donated to their charity.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yes, and we're also excited. This year we're going to do a Garlic Chef Junior cook-off. So we have a couple of local contestants who will be competing for the title of Garlic Chef Junior this year, and that'll be Friday afternoon. Saturday was what you were talking about, which is our cook-off contest, where we have 100 recipes submitted to us annually from people from all over the country, competing for a cash prize and the title of cook-off winner of the year.
Yes, yeah.
And then Sunday we also have our professional chefs come in and compete for our Garlic Showdown.
And you also have wonderful celebrities that Ken Christopher was talking about that do demonstrations throughout the day. But let's go back, since you're the recipe and Saturday cook-off chair. Explain what happens with that when somebody who is not a professional submits a recipe. What should they do? How do they do it?
Okay, so we have a timeline, and so recipes are submitted by a certain day in May, and so anybody can submit that is, as you said, a non-professional chef. And so they submit their recipe. It has to have certain elements. Obviously, garlic is the most important. When it first started, I think it was 3 cloves of garlic way back in the late 70s. But now it's 6 cloves of garlic or the equivalent. And so they submit their recipes, and there's a committee that includes the chairs, the co-chairs of our committee, which we have 2 also, and other culinary enthusiasts.
And how large is the committee?
It's about 10 people strong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have some veterans to the cook-off stage who've been with the Garlic Festival and been with the recipe for many, many years. And then we have, of course, some new people like myself. I'm fairly new to the recipe or the cook-off stage, but I'm just culinary enthusiasts who want to get involved. And so we go through each recipe. Every submission, we make sure that the title is appropriate. They follow the rules on the length of the title. We make sure the garlic is involved. We choose the specific recipes that are appropriate. From that point, then we send them to you, and we get your expertise on those. But we also, fortunately for us, we get to come to you, and you help us cook the recipes ourselves. And then we go through a rating process, and we determine our top contestants, who eventually we narrow those 90 to 100 recipes down to 8. And those 8 are our cook-off competitors for Saturday.
And 2 alternates.
And 2 alternates, absolutely.
Just in case something.
You have to, just in case.
Yeah,
absolutely.
good backup.
Yeah.
And, well, some of the qualifications besides that amount of garlic is that they need to submit a photograph.
Correct.
Which really helps all of us tremendously, because sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words, like we see in a cookbook. We know what direction they're heading, because these are all supposed to be as original as possible, if there is such a thing these days.
Absolutely. And we had some beautiful pictures this year. And you mentioned the cookbook. We are doing a special anniversary edition, since this is the 40th year that we're celebrating, and we will do a special edition cookbook. So in that cookbook, all the previous winners' recipes are in there, including our celebrity chefs that are attending this year. So.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
And also, one of the other criteria is the recipe has to be able to be cooked within a 2-hour period.
Correct, yes.
So now what I'd like you to do is paint the picture of the incredible stage and each little individual's cooking spot, or what their kitchens look like, how the stage is decorated and evolved.
Oh, yes. So the stage has evolved tremendously since the festival first started. There was not as many kitchens as they had when it first started, obviously. Now we have 8 stations, stoves. We have one of our volunteers bring beautiful potted herbs, fresh herbs that are at each station. So if the chefs need them, they're there. If there's any specialty cookware items that are needed, then the chefs need to bring those. But we do have some, obviously the stove is there, the oven's there, the sink is there for them. And then in the front of the stage, which is where our demonstrations are, we have a beautiful stainless steel stove. The back of the stage, we have a beautiful pantry for our showdown. So also, well, for the showdown, they need to, choose ingredients. So we have the pantry available to them, but that's always on display. So.
Well, that's beautiful, because it has all the fresh herbs and produce and so forth. And then as you're facing out towards the U-shaped audience on the stage, you now have, it's all tinted in mesh, isn't it?
Right. We do have a beautiful overhang, so it's a little bit of a shaded area, which is kind of nice, because I know you mentioned that the heat in Gilroy can get up there. But yes, there is a shade that covers the entire stage. And believe it or not, last year we had somebody make a dish with ice cream. So, it gets warm, but we can still, cook a variety of different things on that stage. So,
and what else? The way it seems to be structured is that every 15 minutes. So if somebody wanted to watch and get there early, you start at what time?
Well, Friday morning we have a demonstration, or a discussion at 10:30 in the morning, and then our Champions for Charity competition starts at 11. Our winner is announced around 1:30, and then our next competition, the Garlic Chef Junior competition, is at 2. And then we have a few demonstrations, like Sean O'Neill, our Master Chef Season 7 winner, who's been wonderful to us. He's actually doing a demonstration at that time at 4:30, and then we have another demonstration by Dewey Lucero at 5:30. On Saturday, which is when our Garlic Cook-Off competition takes place, it starts at 10 a.m. And we have something all the way till 6 o'clock. So we have other demonstrations by different professionals from the area who are judges, or not just in the area, but from California. Brian Boitano is doing his demo on Saturday at 12:30. And then Sunday, we also, again, start at 10 a.m. for our showdown competition, which is we have our local celebrity chefs doing demonstrations. And then our showdown starts at 12. And then we have other demonstrations, like I know Ken had mentioned Michael Simon. He will be on stage at 3 o'clock doing his demo. So yeah, we're all day long, all 3 days. There's something going on. There's something for everybody.
Now, the one part of the key component is, how are the winners determined?
So for the cook-off?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so for the garlic cook-off, so we have the judges that are at the tables at the front of the stage, and so in 15-minute increments, as you mentioned, they will get served the dish, and they look at the presentation, and you can chime in because you also know this, but they have their scoring sheet, presentation, taste, and so when they score each contestant, and then that goes backstage, and there's a few of us that get to tally up all of the scores.
Yes. I remember doing that once upon a time. That's not easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we've found some ways to make it a little more efficient this year, because last year it was quite entertaining. We had Gianna back there with us saying, "Who's winning? What are we doing?" And we were trying to hide the scores from her because we didn't want that out, and she was being filmed on our Jumbotron out front. So.
That's the other thing. There is no bad seat, because the Jumbotron is relatively new, isn't it?
Right, within the last couple of years.
Yes.
And that's been great.
Oh, it's fabulous. And so really with the cooking demos, your front kitchenette, if you will, has the big mirror overhead. But now with the Jumbotron, they can see everything.
Right.
It's better than a big screen TV.
Right. It really is. It really is. There's not a bad seat in the place. And even if you're standing and you don't get a seat because it's so packed, you can still see. So it's great.
And with the judging, that's a fun thing in and of itself, because you do have the media roaming around the stage. And so for the judges to kind of keep you want it to be not visible or threatening to any of the cooks that are close by as they're doing it. And what was nice is that what are there, 5 judges now?
Well, for the Great Garlic Cook-Off, there is 5. There are 5, yes. 5. Yes.
And describe some of the judges that you've had.
Great. So, well, for this year, for the Great Garlic Cook-Off Contest, we have Adam Sanchez, who is the chef and owner of the Milias restaurant in town in Gilroy. We have Annie Smith, chef for Girl Power to Cure. We have Austin Cobb, executive chef at the Strand House in Manhattan Beach. Wow. We have, Jason, forgive me if I mispronounce this, Rizek, the executive chef from Farallon Restaurant in San Francisco. And we also have Miriam Vega from La Niña Perdida, Taste of Mexico, which is also a local restaurant.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so those 5 will be the judges for the cook-off competition. We have other judges for the other 2 competitions, or 3 competitions that we're doing.
One of the things that you wouldn't expect, except years back, the garlic flavored ice cream became known, certainly nationwide.
Right.
That was a big thing. And ever since then, somebody always seems to submit a dessert recipe, and this year we got a lot of dessert recipes, didn't we?
We did, and I was excited to see that. Oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this, I don't think of garlic in dessert, but roasted garlic is delicious. And some of the other recipes where they've used different types of garlic, or different forms of garlic, delicious. The ice
candied garlic chips that are made.
I had the privilege of making that last year.
Oh, wow.
That was fun. Yes. But yeah, it's delicious. It is really good. And so I'm excited. We do have a dessert recipe that will be competing this year. So that's fun. And then there's a drink associated with that one as well. So that should be interesting.
Yes, that was very, very good. Yeah. I think that won us all over.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about the Garlic Festival Committee that comes down once a year, and before another friend of mine who's a real foodie, Shane Fuller, and I always go over all the recipes that you've given me, and we try and figure out what sounds more original, how many fresh ingredients they're using instead of all canned things. And then the difficulty is, but your previous garlic consultant, Dee Dee, I think her name was, she said you need to have different categories, so separate out chicken and seafood and the meats and appetizers versus desserts, so that you present really a whole range of recipes. So that made it helpful too, that even though you got all shrimp sounded good, you need to kind of spread out the wealth a little bit. And we just couldn't help it this year with the desserts. It was surprising. And even a cookie won a couple of years ago. It was remarkable. So that should be fun for the cookbook.
Absolutely, yes. The cookbook, it's a treat. And like I said, we'll do a special anniversary edition since we're celebrating 40 years. So it'll be a little bit different than what it's been in the past.
And the cookbooks are wonderful. They're a soft color. They're easy to use if you're following the same format. And they're, what price? I've forgotten what they are.
Under $10.
Oh,
yeah, so
good,
very affordable.
good.
And the number of recipes that you get, you're getting, almost 40 years worth of our cook-off winners recipes.
Well, I'll have to make sure to buy a couple of those. But I'll also help describe some of the behind the scenes. So once you all have sorted out the recipes that you're going to send me, and we do go and whittle it down a little bit more, we've really cooked about close to 20 or so or more over the years at a time. And the beauty of the festival now cooking, rather than just me and another person making sure it can be done easily, is that we get so much more tested, and we can all evaluate. We have our own scoring sheets, and we photograph it and try and plate it up as beautifully as a contestant has photographed theirs. And we all taste it and submit our scores. And so I think one of the things, if I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, sometimes the committee's group of who's first, second, and third doesn't match the judges. You'd think we would all be in sync. So I think they have created a new little private award that if somebody, one of the contestants, does not get the judges award, that there is a little one that lets them know that they were well thought of.
The committee, the
committee. And also that same committee, all of you assist the contestants, and how does that work?
Right. So we have we recruit culinary enthusiasts to be chef assistants for our contestants. So they each get assigned a contestant. And we also do a Friday evening when the contestants come in, they come to Gilroy, we do a Friday evening gathering. So everybody can socialize, get to know one another, spend a little time with their chef assistant. The chef assistant is there to help them if they have special needs, maybe an item that they need to find locally that they couldn't bring with them across the country or something.
Nikki, I got so carried away that we need to have you back another time to finish. Thank you.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
came and really described, and I just ran amok.
That's okay. Thank you for
But,
having me.
oh, it's a pleasure, and we look forward to everybody coming to the Garlic Festival for the
Absolutely.
40th anniversary.
Yes, we do.
Thank
Thank you.